You must have liquidity. Now, liquidity is cash. It's the ability to access capital when you are presented with an income opportunity. For example, let's say that somebody calls you up tomorrow and says, hey, if you give me $50,000 today, I'll give you $100,000 tomorrow. Now, if you don't have $50,000 in cash, how do you take advantage of that incredible opportunity? The answer? You can't. And that's why I teach all of my clients to have two main goals as they're building business, as they are starting companies. For some of you, it might be real estate investing, could be private money brokering, but you are lacking goals. Now, in the book of Proverbs, it says, without a vision, the people will perish. And I meet people all the time that are like, I'm starting a business. And my question is, well, why? Because I want to make money. And I say, well, how much money? And they say, as much as I can. And they're not focused. And so I teach my clients to focus on two things. Step number one, please write this down. I want you to focus on getting to a place where you have $250,000 in cash in the bank. Now, if you have that already, great, you can start working on goal number two. But I know statistically, many of you aren't yet to that place. So I want to help you get to the place where you have $250,000 in liquid cash so that you can take advantage of these opportunities when they are presented to you. Goal number two, I want you to become an accredited investor. Now, an accredited investor is somebody who, according to the IRS and the Securities and Exchange Commission, makes over $200,000 a year as an individual, or $350,000 a year as a married couple, or have $1 million in investable assets, excluding the equity in their primary residence. Many of you might already be accredited, others of you probably not. Again, statistically, we know that about 5% of the population is accredited. So 95% need to get to that place. So we begin by building businesses to get to a place of liquidity. Then we begin building to get to a place of being an accredited investor. Now, why is being accredited so important? Because as an accredited investor, you are allowed to see and be presented with opportunities that non-accredited investors cannot be presented with. This is how the rich get richer. They are introduced to these income opportunities that produce 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 100% rates of return. Meanwhile, those who are not accredited are relegated to their 401k or their stock options plan through their company, making 2 or 3 or 4% if they're lucky. Now, as we move through these goals, $250,000 in cash liquidity and $1 million in investable assets, it's easier if we follow a simple plan. So as you're looking at your screen here, I just want to take an annual current income for any run-of-the-mill person, right? Let's say that you're making $55,000 a year in income. Now, if you're making more, if you're making less, you can follow along and just plug these numbers in with me. So if you are making $55,000 a year at your job, I would never encourage anyone to quit their job and pursue some other income opportunity. Like, you're going to start a company, great, but you can't leave your job, which is paying the bills, until you recreate that income somewhere else. So goal number one, year one in your business, is simply going to be to recreate your current annual income from job. Again, we're not going to spend that money. We're not going to go invest that money. We're going to keep it in cash. So we've got $55,000 a year from job. We got $55,000 a year from side income. We made $110,000 in the next 12 months. In year number two, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to keep the job. We're going to make $55,000 a year, but this time we're going to double. If you can make an extra 55 grand on the side, you probably could make another $110,000 in your second year of doing it. So we're going to take that second year, we're going to make $110,000, which means in year two, we've made $165,000 and we've set aside $165,000 in liquidity. Now, year three, this is where it gets really exciting because you've got a big decision to make. Year three, if you choose to, is the year that you could go full-time into your business. However, you're going to remain an employee. So you're going to go from being employed by whoever you work for now to being employed by yourself when you go full-time into the business. Now, all of that money that we've set aside, all of that liquidity, that's what we're going to use to pay our salary. Now, we're going to give ourselves a nice little $10,000 a year increase. So we're going to go from 55 grand a year to 65 grand a year. You've earned it, you deserve it, but we're going to keep the rest of that liquidity in the bank. Because we now have 2 years of experience, we've got cash in the bank, we now can take advantage of more of those income opportunities, which means in year 3, we're going to be able to double that $110,000 we made the year before, which means we now have $285,000 in liquid cash. So we've achieved and accomplished goal number 1. As we go into year 4, you're going to get another raise, 15 grand. You did an amazing job last year. You doubled the revenue from the company, so you get a raise. Now you're making $80,000 a year, and we're going to simply take what we did last year and double it again. Last year we made 220 grand. This year we're going to make 440,000, which means we have totaled now 520 grand in year number 4. Now year 5 is where it gets the most exciting because you're going to get another raise. This year, $95,000, a $40,000 a year income increase from where we started, but we made $440,000 in that business. This year we're going to make $880,000, which, as you can see, by the time we're done, in just the next 60 months, you will have made $350,000 from income from job, that's W-2 income, but you've also made $1.7 million in your new business, your new enterprise, your new real estate investments. So as you can see, in just 60 months, you've made $2,055,000, and when you divide that out over the year, you have averaged over the last 5 years $411,000 in income simply by following this simple formula. Now, regardless of where you begin, all you got to do is plug in your current annual income and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do each and every year. If you'd like to get a copy of this chart so you can simply input your income for the year and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do next, just click the link below and I'll happily give you a copy of this incredible income strategy.